join me to the speaker room. My friend Anup is here. Anup, welcome.
Hi Sandeep, how are you? It's been a long while since we have spoken.
Yeah, Anup. Been kind of missing each other into various sessions. Of course, I keep attending your sessions. So, hey, welcome everyone. Welcome to Room on Export Growth Demystified. We are at Startup Club, and I am with Anup here, who's a B2B marketing consultant. So, my name is Sandeep Kaushik. I'm an export growth consultant. I've been helping people in starting, building, and growing their export business. We're running this room now every Friday at 6 o'clock, and we discuss about how you can do lead generation for international business using tools and techniques which are new, which are old school. So whatever way possible, how you can generate leads and how you can actually convert those leads into prospects and prospects into customers. So welcome everyone, and I would like to say that those of you who would like to join us up in the room and have some questions about export business or anything about uh, lead generation, please raise your hand and we'll be welcoming you to come and speak and have your questions. We have Raj who's joining us. Okay, so let me refresh the room. And of course, those of you who were there last week, we talked about few ways of lead generation. We talked about the traditional way of using Google and also using Google Maps to finding out prospective leads. We talked about e-commerce websites and the supplier base in that, and of course, we also talk about some other interesting ways like a hashtag method usage to find out the right leads for you. So would like to start with Anup. Anup, why don't you introduce yourself and what would you like to share about lead generation with our people? Anup.
Hey, thanks, Raj. I'm Anup Kurup, B2B marketer or marketer focused on B2B businesses. I focus on B2B services primarily and B2B e-commerce secondary and a little bit of B2B manufacturing businesses. Of course, B2B enterprise SaaS always seems to kind of come in the way of all doing all this because the world we are in, SaaS is the way to go for businesses that want to do something great and build something good and have recurring revenue today. Well, that is what I focus on: services, SaaS, B2B commerce, e-commerce, and a little bit of manufacturing. I come from a chemical engineering background, and that is what allows me to do a lot of these things. Thank you, Sandeep. Back.
Thank you so much, Anup. And at this time, of course, we'll start talking about the new lead generation methods today. But I would really would like to have there are a lot of people in the room. If you have any question about export business, please raise your hand. I'll be happy to invite you as a speaker. Or if you have something to share about lead generation or anything new which you do for generating leads, please raise your hand. We'll be happy to welcome you up the stage. So, continuing our discussion from last time, we discussed about lead generation, and of course, we talked about email marketing. We talked about LinkedIn marketing as well earlier. But then, what are the new ways of uh, generating leads? So we were talking about the Google method, where when we were searching for specific target segment as we discussed. And so again, now we'll talk about target segment a little bit and then go on how you can really find out more leads for your international business. So essentially, for any business, whether you are in B2B or B2C, you need to really define your target segment in any country you want to focus upon. So whether it's going to be B2B selling, in case of B2B selling, whether it's going to be importers, it's going to be wholesalers, it's going to be some boutique stores, it's going to be some distributors. So what kind of model you're going to work on, and who is your target segment? I mean, what kind of people you would like to work in that country? And once you have that clarity, then you have to really work on and find out the genuine leads into that area. And of course, we discussed about few methods, and we had Raj who shared certain insights last time, and we'll just add few more, and then we'll go out to all of you. So anyone would like to come up anytime, please raise your hand. Would be happy to invite you up. So so some of the other methods is like there are certain government websites. These are customs websites which you have across the world, and these websites actually give you uh, direct data from the people who are buyers uh, of your products or your industry, and you surely can uh, actually once you once you get them and you profile them and you prospect them, you're going to find out that what kind of your prospect base, your target segment base they fall in. So once you're clear that okay, this is falling into this target base, you need to store the data in your CRMs, or if you're going traditional Excel sheet, you need to basically store your leads as a segment. I will strongly recommend to use a CRM system, and if you're a startup, doing that from the beginning would be really, really helpful, because you'll be able to follow with these people, very, very categorically. And based on that, these government websites actually give you a lot of data based on your HSN codes. For export business, there is a unique HSN code for every product you export. So government websites are a great, great way of generating leads, and that is another way of generating leads. I'm going to keep adding that during our discussion today, because today we'll be concluding our lead generation talks. So Raj, would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself to the room, and then maybe if you have something new to add up about lead generation, would be happy to hear. I think he's not there, so okay. Gaurav, would you like to introduce yourself? And we today been discussing about lead generation. So Gaurav is a dear friend, and he's a super awesome 10x coach. We call him GB. His name is GB, of course. And Mr. Praneeth, can you please mute yourself? Yes, thank you. Okay. So Gaurav is a sales coach. He's a licensee of Grant Cardone in India. He's an absolute awesome guy who really helping and transforming companies in terms of sales. So Gaurav, welcome to Explore Go Demystified room. And we have a lot of startup people here. Would love to have your advice on international lead generation, and do tell us something about you.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandeep. And it is a pleasure to be here amongst all of you. I just hope I don't get a call I'm expecting from the US right now, and I might get interrupted for a bit, but I will be back shortly after, just in case that happens. So, yes, I am Gaurav Bhagat, and I am, as Sandeep mentioned, someone who started out his own company many, many years ago, and in due course has built out Consortium Gives to be a company that today does more work globally than it does in India, and hence, always happy to come in and share some of my insights and things that have worked really well for us over the years. I, of course, also represent Grant Cardone in India, and Grant Cardone is, all about sales. In fact, he's the world's #1 sales trainer, and I do represent Grant Cardone in India. It's always a pleasure to be here in this forum with Anup and Sandeep and the lovely export growth demystified rooms. Again, Sandeep's doing some awesome work here, and truly, my belief is that India is well on its way to becoming that $5 trillion economy, and exports is going to play such an integral part in that. And Sandeep's at the forefront. So, Sandeep, always a pleasure. And I know you're talking about lead gen today. So, obviously, happy to throw in a few insights. I know you speak very passionately about LinkedIn and the amount of time that you spend there. And I did last week, also mention about Lusha, which is lusha.com. And the cool part of Lusha.com is you can actually go onto the website and you can do your first 5 searches for free. So if you are looking to connect with any particular people, and Lusha will throw up all the phone numbers, the email IDs, and sometimes even direct cell phone numbers of key people that you might be looking to identify with. So that's been a very powerful lead gen strategy for our team, of course, as well. I know you work talking about associations and all of that. That's been really brilliant for us as well. I know that some in this room might be aware that I'm a member of, in fact, now on the board of IGC Global Promotions, and IGC is gifting association, and net our association does about $1 billion amongst the 43 members who are actually there. And I always knew that if we had to bump up and get to a particular point in our industry, we would need to get into global associations, and it's not easy. Sometimes some of these are extremely picky about who they really take. But if you do manage to swing it, and if you do manage to wing it, and if you do manage to get in, truly the sky is the limit. And I realized that, and hence, at least for me in a personal capacity, I actually sell more globally. In fact, I only handle global accounts, and these are companies like LinkedIn, Cisco, Informatica, Facebook, Salesforce, PeopleSoft. Some of the biggest IT companies in the world are now handled by our company, and it was all thanks to a global outreach and doing many of the things that Sandeep mentioned. So, Sandeep, that's what I have for you now. But of course, I'll keep pitching in due course as well. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. And of course, Gaurav has been not only generating leads but also converting them into sales world over, and he's really built up a brand. I know him for last 10 years, and in last 10 years, he really revamped his company from a company who's into gifting space just in India, but now a global player. And he just said that he's now become a member of IGC and in the board of the IGC. So, congratulations, Gaurav, on that. So, Rodrigo, would you like to unmute yourself and introduce yourself first, and then, of course, share with us your thoughts on lead generation? If you have any question, please feel free to ask.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Sandeep, for the opportunity. Hello, everyone. My name is Rodrigo Baez, and I'm the founder of Macau Business. I help companies establish operations in Brazil and Mexico. And today I actually have a question. So I've been recently getting more Indian clients, and I'm really interested in expanding my reach throughout India. And I don't know, perhaps is that any interesting tip or something that you could provide me regarding the Indian market? It would be great. Thank you very much. And then
How
Thank you.
much
Thank you
time do
so
you have?
much.
I was just asking Rodrigo, how much time do you have about Indian market?
Okay, okay. Okay, Rodrigo, I think, frankly, I've been working quite a lot in Mexico personally. I run a publishing brand by the name of Macau Books and been doing a lot of business in Mexico and all of Latin America. And yes, a lot of Indian companies are looking towards Mexico and Brazilian market, and I mean, a lot of companies are already doing good business. So India has come of age, and there are lots and lots of companies who are looking towards export. The export is growing for the last 6 months. Even during pandemic, we were growing. Of course, there's a scarcity of containers, but I think the export bandwagon is really going up. So there are some very good companies, Rodrigo, and a lot of opportunities for people to collaborate. We kind of touch almost like 500 companies in terms of training them and helping them in terms of growing into various countries. So yep, would love to collaborate and give you more information about the kind of products you're looking for, Mexican and Brazilian market. And yes, uh, India is really, really striving towards manufacturing and making great products in terms of health, pharma, fashion, auto, and all kind of industries you're looking at. So uh, I think it's the right time to really work with the Indian companies, and uh, you're more than welcome. I would really be happy to connect you with a lot of companies in
absolutely,
India. Yeah.
I'll send you a DM so we can connect offline. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rodrigo, for coming and joining. Like to add something? I mean, you missed out last time. Raj, are you there?
Yes, Sandeep, good evening. Sorry, I had some technical issue. Hi, everyone. This is Raju Pusapati. I am a custom clearance agent for over 2 decades. What I would like to share is a unique way where the custom clearance agents are the one of the easiest lead generators for export importers. How you do it is because if you have a product, let's understand if you have vegetables. Then we would have handled that shipment for an importer or exporter at some time of the day, and that is easy to connect to the buyer. For instance, if there is a buyer in Dubai and you're looking for a buyer, and we'll connect it. What is the deal is a give and take situation where the CHA is done by the custom clearance, and we help people with the generation of the leads for various products, not only with us, but we have connections with the Chamber of Commerce, and other trade bodies where we see people importing and exporting. So that is one of the easiest lead generations if you have a specific product on hand. So either if you're a manufacturer or a seller through a merchant exporter, that's one of the easy ways you can generate leads, Sandeep.
Thank you
Over
so
to you.
much, Raj. And of course, yes, a lot of people are actually working in that direction. And I would also like to add that besides this, of course, Gaurav talked about trade associations. So, like for your industry, whatever product you're doing, and the country you are focusing, if you know the trade associations there, try to get the data of all the members. There are certain websites which are available and which are open where you have access to the data. But most of the times, you will find that if the data is closed for like only the authorized users, you can still find at least 4 to 5 people name and designation and connection because they are like the that office bearers. So you can connect with them directly or also through LinkedIn. That's again a great way to connect, create a relationship, and then of course you can surely get that data. So getting that kind of data through industry associations is actually a very good way of generating leads for your business. So look at the organizations like in your industry. Look at all the possible trade associations. Try to connect with them. Some of them have open data, like you can just go and get all the data of buyers and manufacturers or brands in that country. So it would be a great lead generation for you. So we have Akash in the room. Akash, would you like to unmute yourself and share? Introduce yourself first, and if you have something to share about, okay, I think is just left. So Anup, you've been doing a lot of B2B marketing, and you've been helping people in kind of growing the business multifold into this area. Would you like to share some inputs for the room in terms of any innovative method of generating leads?
I have very simple things. I mean, in the midst of all the sophisticated technologies that we have, sometimes we forget that we can still use older tech and use very simple technologies to get in front of the customers. And sometimes this is faster, easier, and the databases are available fairly at a very reasonable prices. Let me say that. If you are going to Australia, one of the easiest way to market in Australia is using text messages. It may sound strange. Text messages of all the things. People avoid text messages, not so in the Australian market apparently. We tested that, recently, had an opportunity to. And yes, the open rates, the response rates are very high. Only thing, you need to have an Australian number. You need to have somebody there who could pick up a phone and answer that. And it's very easy. There are a lot of agencies who provide that service. But a marketing campaign with the right numbers can help you reach the right people in Australia really fast. Just one interesting tidbit, lot more there, but I'll speak about them.
Thank you so much, Anup. And yes, a great insight. Text messages. I mean, who would have thought of text messages at this time? But then Anup has success stories where he's actually used text messages in Australian market and, of course, using Australian number, but getting amazing results. But yes, we are finding that the connections are happening more towards email marketing. You have LinkedIn marketing, LinkedIn connections. Of course, within certain countries, people are also doing WhatsApp marketing. I mean, that's not real for every country. You need to actually study the country and see what is the preferred way of communication there. But we are majorly focusing more on lead generation, and would love to have more people coming up. Please raise your hand if you have something to add up or some questions. Would be really happy to help. Another thing which we have found out very recently and a great success is you'd be surprised, and maybe some of you would know, is getting data from the embassies. Yes, you heard it right. Like for the Indian people, we have embassy everywhere in the world, and you as a manufacturer, a merchant exporter, or someone who's doing some unique products, you can actually send an email asking for the data because you've been kind of helping the country to do exports and be adding to the foreign reserves of the country. So add that angle, create your credit.